when they're prepping for the debate and he's all thumbs and and he's trying to be congenial, he's trying to be a slave to all masters, and he's just not sounding like himself. We go back to the theme of this show practically, which is let Bartlett be Bartlett.
Yep.
I'm going to say this to you, Andrew, and this is what I want you to respond to, and then you can go into other remarks about this. We talk a lot these days, especially on this network, about boys' power fantasy. This show definitely deals in political power fantasy.
Yep.
What if our mamby-pamby, limp-wristed, tree-hugging, sissy Democrats could be the men they actually are? And just get out there and gnash teeth and roar and bite people. Arr! What if we could have some real hard fighting, word throwing Democrats, and they go, well, we'll just write them that way. And there's Bartlett. And look, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound like it's a complaint, but it's kind of not. I said, in a previous show, you're only as smart as your writers, and that works both ways.
Yep.
Because they make Bartlett so quippy and so smart, and just when we get to the actual debate and he's just tearing poor old stand-in for Jeb Bush to pieces, it's like, I haven't seen a president that smart ever. The closest may have been Barack Obama, maybe. But in all the years that I've been alive, from Reagan to now, no president, not a single one, has been that sharp, that witty, that intelligent. None of it. Closest was Barack. And I wasn't the world's biggest fan of him, so it's not like I'm standing for the guy. But he was the closest to sounding like the political boys' power fantasy that is President Bartlett. You know what I mean, Andrew?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's a lot of it where it gets into, I think it was in season 3 where it's like, you're heavyweight and he's not. Mm-hmm. And all those things. It's like, sometimes I think, at the expense of being congenial, you just need to go in there and be the smartest guy in the room. And I think, when you talk about it as a power fantasy, I think it becomes a little bit of like, this is going to sound weird, a smart guy's power fantasy, where you can actually go in there and be every bit as smart as you are, and people take you seriously. Like there's a degree of
people value that.
Sorry,
because people value it. Because in real life, Andrew gets up there and he's just like, all the smart Canadian things ever, and aren't I a genius? And everyone goes, boo, boo. And then I come out there and I go, boobs and tits and drugs and cigars, and everyone goes, yay! And the
other guy says, abortions for some and tiny American flags for everyone.
Right. And then Andrew just like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this?
But it's like, I mean, it's even the reference. Like,
what is it? The guy in the Nixon administration. Oh, Spiro Agnew. This is why Spiro Agnew couldn't run for president. One, because he was named Spiro Agnew. That sounds like a vegetable. But also because he was the smartest guy in the room and nobody liked him.
Well, that, and I mean, on some level, it's also that it's that fine balance of being able to say, yeah, I'm smart and I can do all this. I think I consider the smartest people I know are the people who can take really complex ideas and communicate them in a reasonably intelligent manner. And that's what Bartlett does.
Oh, you're not talking about me. Sorry.
No, you too, Mark. Don't worry. Okay. But it's like he goes out there and it's like, that's one of my problems. I do not have the gift of brevity. Okay, maybe compared to some people on this network.
Nobody on this network does. Nobody. Where our plug segments are 20 minutes long.
He goes out there, and even under these like 30-second timeline rules, he's going out there and he's just throwing hammers the entire time. And it's great. It's great to watch. And it comes down to that whole idea. Like, my handle tonight is the 10-word answer, because that's a whole debate they have.
Right.
Like, again, referencing, literally, I just watched a 4-man debate tonight because, again, that's how we do things in Canada. But it's like, we've literally been having, up until about 6 weeks ago, we were literally having political debates that literally consisted of verbing the noun. Like, literally, there was a guy who was 25 points up based on 3-word catchphrases.
Nice.
And, well, not anymore, but...
Okay, just to see your point and raise it, another anecdote. When Lois Griffin is running for office and she's losing by bringing up the issues, and Brian just says, just say 9/11. And she wins because of it.
9/11.
Yeah. What are you planning to do about homelessness? 9/11. Yay! way.
It's kind of funny. The other one I just saw this week. I'm glad we've gone to both The Simpsons and Family Guy. I'm gonna bring up Young Sheldon when he runs for student council, and then it's like, she's from New York and don't mess with Texas, and then he's the president.
Right. I'm gonna take your brief moment to breathe as a moment to bring Jesse in. Your thoughts on the re-election campaign and the debate stuff this season, Jesse?
Yeah. So you guys were talking about how smart Bartlett is, and it's very noticeable, obviously, when he walks into a room and he's got like some kind of story to tell you that happened about 1 billion years ago. So and so did this and so did that. It almost gets on your nerves a little bit. Like, how can you stand to be in the room? And I think that's brought up. Like, I think Toby brings that to his attention. I think it was last season. Like, look, man, you are the smartest guy in the room, but you don't have to let everybody know it every single time. We are looked on as we could be viewed as elites, and people don't like that.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that Bartlett knows when to use it and when not to. And I think the most unrealistic thing sometimes is watching like the audience or his constituents appreciate his intelligence, because we're unfortunately, this day and age, that's not exactly what we do. A lot of us are not appreciating
the intelligence. You elected a man by a landslide whose phrase was, "I know all the best words."
Yeah. So, it's so different watching. I think that's a lot of what hits me sometimes, is watching the way things are different. This is only 20 years ago that this has happened. These ideals are being presented on television, and what's happening nowadays in our political landscape is just so vastly different. So yeah, political power fantasy. I see where you're coming from. I mean, I wish for a president like that. I think he is a great embodiment. This character is a great embodiment of what the American people should have and should want. Somebody who makes decisions with their heart and their mind.
Bill Clinton and Al Gore were a nice pair, because Al Gore really was the brainy of the two, but right. He was brainy in the way that you want to punch a nerd. And then Bill Clinton was no slouch either. I think that because of the Monica stuff, and it's the old Jeff Foxworthy thing of, we have doctors and lawyers and smart people, and the part of the world where I'm from, but we sound like this and nobody listens. It's like, what you want to do is, no thanks, I'll just die.
Clinton was a road scholar. Like, he had.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah. Go ahead.
And he was a road scholar. He was a smart guy.
Yeah, Bill Clinton was not stupid, but Bill Clinton sounded like he was from Arkansas. But also, Bill Clinton had extremely high social intelligence, and unlike a lot of other politicians, most like our current one, there's a lot of similarities between Trump and Clinton in the sense of, boy, do both know how to make themselves appealing to the average idiot. And that is why they were elected twice.
And amazing political instincts.
Correct.
I think you go back to the whole thing, like, we talked about what happened in Pennsylvania, like his instinct to go up there and pump his fist in the air. Mm-hmm. Like, that is something where even people up here who are looking at that and saying, these are other people saying this who were not admirers of the current president, said that guy's got such amazing political instincts to do that in that moment and get that moment out of it.
There's a lot of comparisons between like politics and professional wrestling. And one of the things they talk about is like the nuance of knowing when to look at a crowd.
Yes.
Knowing when you got, I was listening to a TikTok where Triple H was talking about the People's Elbow, and they were like, when the Rock did the People's Elbow as a goof at a house show, and he realized that he had the people in a way that nobody else did, and that's why the People's Elbow became what it did. But that's a skill you have to have, because other people can blow past the stop sign and not see that they got something, and others know exactly when they've got it, and then they build on it, they play on it.